Since moving to Japan, I have been fascinated by the sheer variety of ceramics found here, and I made it my mission to learn about and be inspired by what I found. One of the most mysterious and astonishing styles I found were the pots created by Japan's first inhabitants in the Jomon period, 14,000 to 300 BC. The Jomon people lived for a long period of time in northern and central stretches of Japan. The style of pottery they created was like nothing I had ever seen before, and it amazed me that such intricate designs were being produced so long ago. To me, it was almost like aliens had made these pieces. And I wanted to know more about the Jomon people and why these pots looked like this. I found that actually these designs were not so alien after all, and that the Jomon people took inspiration from exactly the same thing I do for my own work: nature. Not unlike Native Americans, the Jomon people were devoted to and connected deeply with nature, and had animistic religious beliefs. For around 10,000 years, these people stayed put and passed down the knowledge to survive in lands covered in deep snow for half of the year. The hearth and the use of fire was an integral part of every home. Some say that Jomon pottery designs resemble flames. Living in closely connected communities was also key to survival. They placed their homes in a circle and gathered in the centre. They worked together to hunt and fish and store enough food for everyone. The importance of this is all reflected in the designs, with the use of actual rope to impress texture into the clay. Rope-like bonds surround depictions of the animals that fed them. The designs seem to be a celebration of the most important parts of their own survival. They are more than just designs, but the remnants of a culture steeped in ancient animism and rituals. The belief in the souls of all living things and respect for nature to create a balance between humans and nature still exists in Japan today in the form of Shintoism. The Jomon people must have been doing something right to survive in one place for so long. Descendants of the Jomon people still exist in northern Japan today. They are the Ainu people. The Ainu were first mentioned in Japanese literature from the 13th century, but existed before this. There is also a deep connection with nature in the Ainu people, and their clothes and traditional crafts also reflect this. Traditional Ainu clothing bears designs not unlike those found on Jomon pottery. The applique snakes and coils are round, just like the rope-like patterns found on the pots. The patterns were placed at the open edges of the garment, thought to ward off evil spirits from entering there. Could this same theory apply to the pots of the Jomon people, where the majority of the design is placed at the opening of the pot, warding off evil spirits from the contents inside that nourished them? These patterns can also be seen on the Jomon dogu figurines, on what seem to be padded warm clothes with embroidery much like those still seen worn by the Ainu for rituals and special occasions. Unfortunately, there have been many traditions and much knowledge lost through the attempt to homogenize Japan. I have experienced some of this type of homogenization firsthand when I lived in China and visited Xinjiang around 12 years ago. The overwhelming sadness around this topic stays with me today. And as we know too well, the loss of life, culture, and diversity is still happening around the world today. I believe that we should learn from each other and embrace our differences to advance as a species and evolve. In recent years, there has been a resurgence in learning the language and traditions of the Ainu in an attempt to preserve what remains. For me, I believe that understanding nature is the key to thriving alongside it. The way that nature is depicted in Jomon and Ainu art, in a highly stylized manner, is inspirational to me. The beauty of the designs is not only on the surface, but lies in their purpose and meaning to the people that created them.